introduce the topic as well.
Thank you, President Manana. I am honored to bring here to you today Lori Koors. She not only is a friend and a longtime acquaintance. We used to work together 30 years ago or so at State Farm, many years ago over in Newark, and reconnected when I moved back here. So I'm happy that she's here with us today. She's the founder and owner of Seeds of Change Nutrition. She's a certified health coach, and she focuses on weight loss and healthy eating, nutrition, and lifestyle changes so people can live a healthier life. She loves what she does. She's great at it. I've attended some of her programs, and I think you'll really walk away today with some great tips and maybe form some new habits. So I would like to have Lori come forward now and help me welcome her, please.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for inviting me here today. I hope that something today will inspire you and you will learn something new even. And I know I have limited time, so you're almost, I'm okay. Okay. So thank you so much for having me today. So I wanted to talk about 5 ways that you can boost your health for a better work day or just a better day in general, so that we can volunteer and be there for our friends and family and our careers as well, and just to live life to its fullest. So go ahead. All right. So I am, like Dana said, the owner of Seeds of Change Nutrition. I'm a certified health coach, weight management specialist, and also a diabetes prevention program lifestyle coach, which it's been so much fun. I do some executive health coaching and get into corporate programming. And I have over a decade of experience in the organic food industry. So I learned a lot about the conventional and organic food industries, and it's very eye-opening. So organic is real, by the way. I've seen it firsthand. And most importantly, I'm an OSU fan and graduate from the Ohio State University. Okay. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Sorry, there's a lot of clicks. No, that's good. So we all want to be productive during our day, whether it's to serve, if we're retired or if we have a work day, and none of us want to go through the day just feeling tired and lethargic. You know, we want to be sharp and full of energy. So there is a thing called presenteeism where we are at work, and we're there, but we're not feeling well. And so we're present, but not really there fully. And so that's a thing called presenteeism. And it's estimated that U.S. employers are losing $150 billion a year from employees coming to work sick or just not feeling well. And I also saw another statistic that maybe 40 to 60% of employees come to work that way. I know we all have, right? So it's a thing. Okay, and he's very awake this morning, but there is hope. So there are 5 ways I wanted to talk about today where you could be more focused and energized for a better day. All right. Yes, and as we all know, getting a better night's sleep, that's wonderful, right? That's wonderful. Easier said than done sometimes, so we'll get into that. But yeah, it gives you a clearer mind, focus, and productivity. It helps reset your brain. You're also less likely to make better food choices, and less likely to snack all day. So when you are tired, it's actually a physical response in your body. There's a hormone called ghrelin, and that actually will, that actually will release hunger. It triggers hunger in your system so that you can, it's just trying to keep you awake because food is energy. So it's your hunger hormone. It's trying to keep you awake. That's why we want to graze all day when we're tired. So it's a real thing. Sleep helps your body heal and process your emotions. So that's why you can wake up in a sharper, better mood. increases your cardiovascular health, and your insulin levels because your body has had a chance to reset. It can help with memory and your cognitive thinking, and also, of course, help your immune system. Okay. And so you would say, yeah, that's great. There's so many benefits, but that's easier said than done. So here's some tips and tricks to get a better night's sleep. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, turn off your screens before bed, you know, turn off the TV, your you know, your phone. I also coach people at a local doctor's office during the week, and I hear so many stories of people going to bed also at 2 a.m. and waking up. And I also coach a college student there, and so we were working on, hey, let's get to bed before midnight, and it's changed her study habits even. So sleep has just been great. You know, don't look at the news before you go to bed. Do something calming, read, pray, meditate, taking a calming bath. I've used apps before that kind of walk you through relaxing and listen to relaxing music, and then kind of some talk you through relaxing your body. Journal out your thoughts. So if you are stressed about something, could be a relationship, work issues, whatever, journaling out your thoughts either in the morning or at night before you go to bed, just to get that out of your mind and on paper. There's something about the action of writing things down. It gets it out of your mind that can really help. I have this, it's called a mom worry box. That I got at a gift shop. And so it has a little piece of paper with a pen with it. So if you wake up in the middle of the night concerned about something, you can write it out. Or maybe there's a detail you need to do the next day and you want to make sure you do it. Write it down and then go ahead and you can write it down so you don't forget it, and then go back to sleep, or at least try to get it out. Stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bedtime can help a lot, because again, all the people I see, a lot of people are eating late at night, and sometimes it's not because you're hungry, it's because it's a habit, right? Or you're eating, watching TV. So being mindful of what you're taking in, especially late at night, can really help, because your body is trying to digest, and it's a very active process when you're trying to sleep. So the two conflict with each other. And a lot of people do develop GERD, which is acid reflux, because of that, because you have all this food in your system and you're laying flat, and it can go back up. And so over time, that can really cause issues. So that really does help for better sleep. And of course, watch your sugar and caffeine intake through the day. Those are both stimulants. And a lot of people do tend to eat ice cream while they're watching TV. Or I had a client once too. She is popping M&Ms at night while watching TV. She's like, gives me something to do. So we thought of other ways to read a book, or, you know, things like that. And of course, watching alcohol before bed. Thank you. And exercise during the day for better sleep, of course. Yeah, we'll get into movement more too. Yes, and so I thought she was such a bright, smiley face here early in the morning. This could be you when you get some sleep in the morning. Okay, number 2 is carve out. Yeah, carve out some time in the morning. So I saw a trend with a lot of patients and clients that I see, where especially those that work from home now, hit the snooze quite often, and then they just kind of roll out of bed, and you don't have to drive. And then you show up on your computer and it's off to the races, and you haven't given yourself that time in the morning to just kind of reset and relax and get centered somehow. So I always try to give myself at least, oh yeah, you can click, sorry. Yeah, so I try to give myself at least 15 minutes to read a devotional or journal about what's going on, or just try to just be quiet with my coffee, just to try to get set before the day starts. Sometimes exercising before can help as well. You can feel strong and you have your endorphins going, and it just really helps you set up for a good day. Oftentimes too, to start the day well, if I have a very demanding schedule the next day, I try to list out all of the things that I need to do, the people I need to contact, the projects, the little details I need to get done the next day. I will write those out the night before. And prepping lunch, healthy lunch and snacks can really help be, healthy and get a good start in the morning, because a lot of times we are rushing out the door. And so if you can have something healthy ready to go for breakfast, if you have to run out the door, which we'll get into, that really helps too, being prepared. And really, our mental and emotional health really can be impacted by how we start our day. Right, thank you. Right, and it really does help, when we're ready for the day, it helps us take charge of the day instead of it taking charge of us. Absolutely. Okay, nutrition and hydration. Yes, the first 20% of what we consume goes to our brains, and that is a function. It's a survival function. Of course, if our brain isn't healthy and everything, we don't have anything left. So it's really important. What we put in our body does matter, and it also helps, since it does go to the brain. It does help with brain health as well, focus and energy for our day. Yeah. So yes, we were talking at the table. Breakfast does matter, and what we choose matters. It doesn't really matter as much when you start breakfast, but that first meal is when you break your fast from the evening. And so it really does. So I do talk a lot about sugar and blood sugar balance in my practice. And it really does, what you choose to eat for breakfast really does make a difference. And so a lot of people I've talked to will just drink coffee all morning, and they're in their zone. And then what happens at lunch? It's a stimulant, so you can crash just like sugar. And then at lunch, you're just famished, and that it just starts that spike and that dip for all day. So what it really does help set your blood sugars up for an even day. Yeah. So what are some better breakfast ideas? The key really is with any meal, is to have some protein, some fiber, healthy fats, and some healthy carbohydrates. Carbs are not the enemy. Just in the right proportion and the right types, you can enjoy them. So that's the other thing I love talking about. So, but it just helps you, it helps your mood and your blood sugars, which sets it up for a good day. So yeah, veggies and eggs with vegetables. You can even do those little frittatas in the muffin tins. Those are easy to heat up during the week with a side of fruit. Oatmeal, watch your portion sizes. Maybe a 1/4 to a 1/3 cup dry oatmeal makes quite a bit of oatmeal once it's all cooked, with some nuts and berries. That gives you some good balance of good fats, carbs, and protein. Your protein shake with some fruit and avocado added. You can't really taste the avocado, but that's a great healthy fat, and it has a lot of fiber in it as well. Right, do you have no time? Have some hard-boiled eggs on hand. Grab one of those and a small apple, and there you go. Or a handful of nuts. That's always a great one. And drink your water. So water is so important. Getting in plenty of fresh, clean water is important. Why I say that is a lot of times people are it's the food industry. It's just how it is. We all have flavored water so available to us. We have the smart waters. People add crystal, and it's no shame or anything, but sorry, people add Crystal Light to their water, which is great. You're still getting in water, but you're also getting that artificial sweeteners in there. So clean, fresh water is just the way to go. It helps flush out the toxins in your body, boost your metabolism, which helps your energy levels, just supports your entire body, right? And if you're not a fan of plain water, there are so many infused water recipes out there. If you just Google infused water recipes, you're going to see some amazing, add cucumber to your water. I just add lemon to my water throughout the day. It gives it some taste, and that way I'll drink more. Also, a trick is to have water in your car all the time. Have a bottle of water or something in your car as you're moving around. You'll just drink it and you won't even notice it. Yeah. Oh, there is one story. So I was working with a patient in the doctor's office, and she was drinking, I don't know, maybe 4 to 8 ounces a day. And she says, I know I'm dehydrated. So her goal when leaving me one session was, she says, I'm going to buy a whole big thing of water and I'm going to have it under my desk at work. And I'm just going to, she just went from 0 to, 100. And I saw her, I think her appointment was 3 or 4 weeks later. And she walked in and her face was glowing. It was, you could see, and I thought, oh my gosh, she has been drinking her water. And she was getting a lot of compliments too. So great. For movement, we all need some physical activity. We all have joints and everything. We were made to move. And according to the CDC, it gives us mental clarity. Again, that brain and mood kick in our endorphins, blood circulation, boosts our immune system. It gives reduce the risk of disease, of course, strengthens our bones and muscles and weight management. And something with blood circulation, there is a muscle called your soleus muscle. It's right there in your calf. That line in your calf, that's the soleus muscle. And what that does is when we exercise, we're strengthening that. It helps pump blood from our lower extremities back to the heart. And so there's this constant, so that's why it's important to get some kind of movement in. And it doesn't necessarily mean going to the gym, if that's not your thing. It also helps, boost our mental health for a better day. It just helps with our relationships. We can handle stress better. It just helps everything. It's good for the mind as well. And I found this quote from Dr. Paul Reed that mental and physical health are so closely connected. What's good for the body is good for the mind. In knowing that and doing, getting in movement will really change your day. So yes, and I've had people say as well, I don't like the word exercise, and I get that. It's intimidating. So I usually say movement. Getting in some kind of movement, the one you'll do consistently is the one you enjoy. And if it's taking a walk, a 15-minute walk a day, that's awesome also. Just getting out, cleaning the house, playing with the kids or grandkids, doing a sport that you like, golf, is wonderful. Taking classes, I say, using the equipment you have already. A lot of people already have a bike or a treadmill that's, hanging clothes on, it's dusty. So just, anything. And when the gyms were closed a few years ago, I found YouTube videos for there's walking videos, there's all kinds of videos out there if you don't want to leave your house. Yeah. And of course, easier said than done. So reducing stress for a better day, in a better life. I know no one has stress, right? We all do, but it's at the core of really most disease in our body. And high blood pressure, I see this a lot in the doctor's office as well. And there's no shame. I mean, we all have stress, upset tummies, all kinds of things, right? It causes inflammation in the body. And it's amazing how the stress that we have most of these days, it used to be a life-threatening stress, hundreds and thousands of years ago, that brought on the fight or flight response. Now it's, I have a deadline at work, or I have this relationship issue, or it's non-life threatening usually. It still produces the same type of response in the body. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's almost worse. Thank you. It's really worse. So some ways to handle stress, and you just have to, find out what works for you. Of course, sleep, as we talked about, exercising. So what that does is, when we originally had that fight or flight response, our response, it gets your body ready to run. And so when you do get in some movement during your day, it's really helping your body release that stress. That's how we were designed. So that can really help. And it doesn't really matter when, just with doing something. Of course, eating healthy foods helps support the body. And when you are stressed, chronically stressed, this is what I've been through also, is it depletes the micronutrients in your body, because your body is it's using up its stores to try to maintain your health. And so it can deplete your micronutrients. So getting in a healthy diet really does help support your body. Yeah, finding a hobby you enjoy and finding ways to laugh. I've even found, again, people on YouTube, comedians that just make me laugh. They're clean comedians out there also, but it just helps to laugh. Closing your eyes and visualizing things going well, or a tranquil scene, uplifting music, and of course, social support is so important. Being around the right people who support and love you definitely helps. Yes, and a couple other ways that I have found really help is, like we had this morning, gratitude. What are you grateful for? Kind of spin that. What are you grateful for? And then really finding out, really taking some time to say, what is really bothering me? What is at the root of this stress? If it's a relationship or a work issue or something like that. Do I need to talk to somebody? Do I need to have a frank conversation, and just in a loving way, and just saying, what you did not feel right. I felt disrespected, that assertive speech where you're respectful, but you're also speaking your mind. That can help break the tension, and that can help set boundaries. Again, look at your thought life and look at who you're surrounding yourself with. Yeah, do you need to speak with a counselor? If you're, HR, a financial planner, whatever's stressing you out, there's, a professional that might be able to help you as well. Okay, yeah, what can you do today to help manage something that's going on in your life? Okay, well, that was number 5. So I hope this inspired you to act on something this week. And I would love to talk to you afterwards to see what you took away from this. I hope something was helpful. The bottom line really is that our minds and emotions and our physical health, they all really are connected. I think sometimes we try to put our professional lives, we separate that from our personal lives, and you just can't do it. You just can't do it. So take care of your whole body. Every area of your life will be better. Yeah, so thank you again so much. A 6th way that you can have a better workday is to work with me if you aspire to. I have a lot coming up in November and December. I have a No Sugar November, a 6-week Healthy Holidays class coming up, starting at the it's November 27th, and I always have one-on-one coaching available. I have a newsletter, and I have a couple of signups here and information if you're interested in that. And for everyone that is here, I'm giving a 15% discount on programs and services. Rotary, you just use Rotary 15 today, so I really appreciate it. Yeah, and my website is seedsofchangenutrition.com. So thank you. Are there any questions?
I have two questions. Number one, is cereal healthy for breakfast? And the second question is, tell us what the story is on organic.
Oh, okay, sure. So the question was, tell us, what kind of cereal is better if cereal is, good to eat in the morning, and then tell us more about organic. I love that. So, cereal can be part of a good breakfast. Just, it depends, of course, what kind. You want to look for, really read labels. You want to look for something that is whole grain, of course. I'm always a fan of organic because I feel like they've really, the wheat that we eat has changed so much. So organic is, to me, better. I'll get to that. But something that has a lot of fiber and protein, and if you can watch your portion of the cereal and make sure you have something else with it, that's a carbohydrate. So if you can have something else with protein in it, a hard-boiled egg or something that's going to balance that out, and watch your portion sizes, that will really help. Otherwise, a lot of cereal will just turn to sugar, and it's going to raise your blood sugars. Yeah. And as far as organic, so I was in that industry. I was in customer service. As you can imagine, I'm a people person. But my colleagues, I saw firsthand all of the documentation, every ingredient that we used. It was toddler formula. So we were working with babies and young children. And so you have to have all this documentation from the ingredient, the sources of the ingredients, those companies. We all had to have that on file, that yes, they were certified organic. We had all kinds of documentation that we had to go through for that. So it is a real thing. And the owner of the company was very insightful, also about how animals are treated, and the RBST that they can use to enhance milk production. And something he said to me was, it really stresses the animal's body. Can you imagine? You're just kind of treated like a factory. And so trying to get no RBST milk and just things like that, it really helps support the animals, but also the ground, because organic farmers have to go through a lot to get certified organic. They have to wait, I believe it is 7 years for the ground to replenish. If it was a conventional farm before, there's so much to it. So does that help answer your question? Okay.
And we piggyback on his question, because I eat a handful of blueberries every day.
Yeah.
Well, right now the blueberries are coming from Peru, and I have a problem with that anyway, that you transport them halfway around the world. But they say they're organic. How does that farm in Peru have the same standards? And how can I trust that that truly is organic?
That's a good question. Yes. Well, we do. We have to, international is a different thing. I'm used to working with the US laws, but that's a great question. I think too, maybe doing some research also on the organic standards of that country. But I still think, and I've heard many classes that I've been in, I have heard many professors also say that getting in the produce anyway, we can't all eat everything organic, right? So berries are one thing. There is a website, the Environmental Working Group, the EWG, comes out with their Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 list.
Right.
And so the biggest thing with organic would be also what foods do you eat most of? Do you eat a lot of apples? Do you eat blueberries? And trying to make those organic, the best, we just do the best we can, don't we? I mean, we really have to. We just make the best choices we can. But so the foods that you eat the most, if you can try to make those organic, that's really better than anything. But also eating berries is just good in general. We can wash them off with even a little bit of baking soda and water can help, kind of swish them around for 30 to 60 seconds, can help wash away some of that residue if there is any.
Baking soda?
Yeah, just
Okay.
baking soda and water can really help.
Nancy, my wife and I just picked blueberries fresh off the vine up in Belleville, Ohio, an hour from here. Brought home many bushels, froze them.
Nice.
We experimented with a blueberry wine. Oh, so good. The blueberries were delicious. Right up the street.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's a great thing to
I
do.
can freeze them.
I
Yeah.
thought it'd be messy. I thought picking them, they'd squish, my hands would be blue. I didn't have any blue stain on my hands at all. Yeah.
That's
Thank you.
wonderful.
Me too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Me too.
Local sources.
Recently?
About 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
You were going to contrast organic and local. Which carries more weight for you?
That's great. So does organic in general or local? He's asking about that. I think local is great. I love supporting the local farmers, first of all, but also how are they growing it? Maybe going there, if you go to the farm and you can ask the workers, do you spray with pesticides? What are your farming practices? Is it an organic farm? Is it conventional? If you see some of the scenes, there are the conventional way of growing things, is you see an airplane just spraying the crops, and it's full of Roundup and everything. And so I think local is wonderful. I really do. But I would just ask how they, what are your farming practices? I think that would be great also. Yeah, wonderful.
So you have a organic farm on this plot and you have a regular farm on this plot. Is there regulation that there should be some separation because of the overflow of spray or pesticides when you've got these two farms?
I know the cross contamination. Yes, I know that there are some. Oh, I haven't been in it for about 6 years, so I don't know what anything, the new laws are. But I know that they tried to separate as best they could, but that can be a problem because you can get some spray. So washing, the big thing is also to wash your produce beforehand. Yeah, that's good. I know they did try to separate as best they could. Yeah, or have so many, feet or so many between the crops. Yeah, that's a great question.
So I know you can get water from some foods, and I want to say maybe pineapple is a good one. Are there other water foods that we can be aware of to help get our water?
Yeah, besides just water. Absolutely. Watermelon, of course, is a great one. Any fruit or vegetable is going to have water in it as well. Produce is just wonderful if you can try to fit it into your diet. Yeah, those are some great things. Fruit is really good for that as well. Yeah. Watermelon's a great one. That does have, it can spike your blood sugars, but it's a good one in a balanced meal. Any kind of fruit like that. Yeah, that's good. Get water even water from your coffee. You do. Yeah. Anything else? You guys have been great. Oh, sorry. Oh, we have one more, I think.
Genetically modified, is that inherently bad or is it kind of just like?
Yes, he's asking about genetically modified foods. You could probably do a whole thing on that. So there, if you do a search on the internet, you will find all kinds of things about their GMOs. It's also now called bioengineered foods. That's such a great question. January of 2022, there was a law came out that said every manufacturer, if you use GMO or bioengineered foods, you have to have it on your label now. And so I think where you're going to see that the most is protein bars. If you look at the labels, I personally try to avoid them because I was in that industry for 11 years. There are some people that will say, basically what it's doing, it's changing the DNA of that food so that that food can be resistant to bugs eating the crops. And to me, I would rather get something that is in its natural state into my body. So that's, you know, what they have found also, it could cause like food sensitivities or allergies over time, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's at your discretion. You'll see all kinds of things. You'll say, oh yes, it's all great. But it's kind of how, just being in that industry, I try to eat organic foods when I can. Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much, Laura. I appreciate that. I think we learned more than 5 tips from everyone, but I know that we all try to eat